welcome to Let's Get Growing. It's Jo Swan here, the educational gardener from Bulwell Forest Garden, and we're at the start of March, and it's yeah, the weather's improving a little bit, and days are getting longer, which plants respond to. Today's a bit milder and it's not raining, so things are starting to grow. So we're going to start with this week's pack. So in the pack today you should have a few more summer bulbs. So in here we've just got a few bulbs, and we've got Tritelia, which is this one here, and we've got Liatris and also Freesia. So they're all sort of a purpley pinky colour, so they should look nice together in a pot. So I'm just going to put them in a small pot to start with, and if they need it I can always pop them on once they start growing. So let's have a look what's in here. So I've got 4 bulbs. So that's the Freesia, the pointy one, and I think that's the Liatris, and that's the Tritelia. So there's 2 of them. So I'm going to put fill my pot with compost, and then just put my seeds around. That's the pointy side up for that one. This one, you can see its roots at the base, and the shoots coming, that's starting to shoot a little bit there. Same with that one. And then the Liatris, that's its roots there. Shoot will come out of there. So I've got my bulbs in, cover them up, and firm them down, and then I've got a label, just put summer bulbs on there. Okay, and then the next thing we've got some edible flowers here. So it's a mix, like we did with the butterfly and bee mix. So this has also got a carrier in it. I think it's vermiculites that it's mixed with. So they're not all seeds that you've got. So we've got violas, nasturtiums, calendulas, hyssop and marigolds, and they're all flowers that you can eat. So it might be a little bit early for some of these, like nasturtiums. So if you can't protect them, then just hang fire a little bit with them. So, because once we've sown them, we are going to have to protect them from the frost. So I'm going to do them in a mushroom punnet with holes in the bottom. Put my peat-free compost in. So there is some vermiculite in here. It's difficult to know how many flower seeds are in here. Looks like a lot of vermiculite actually. Can't see anything that looks like a nasturtium seed. I think that is the thing with buying these kind of mixes. It's difficult to know exactly how many seeds you sow in. So I'm just going to put plenty in here. Put all the seeds that I gave you into a tray this size, and then just a little covering. Press it down, and then we've got the label, edible flowers. And also after I've watered this with a fine rose, I've got another larger mushroom punnet that I'm just going to put on as a propagator lid to help create a bit of warmth in there. Then finally you should have some mixed lettuce, and again I'm using a mushroom punnet. Put the compost in. There's a lot of seeds in here. Need to be careful how many you sow in. I've got way too many there. I'm going to pinch out with my finger and my thumb with my right hand because I'm right-handed, and then I'm just going to try and scatter them. And it depends what you're going to do with these. These are a mixture of different lettuces, and we could just grow them in this tray and do them as cut and come again, or we might decide we want to prick them out for bigger lettuces. We don't have to decide that right now. So that's enough there. Put these ones back. Again, they're only small seeds, so you don't need much to cover them. Give them a good press down. A label. And then I've got another, some kind of food packaging thing that I'm going to put over after I've watered it as a propagator lid. That's it. Dead easy. So we're going to have a look at some of the other things from previous packs. Look at the lasagna pot. Isn't that lovely? So we've got these Siberian Irises here and crocuses. There's still other things in there. I think we put Camassia in and they'll come up later. I'm pleased with that. Then we'll have a look at... so this is the bee and butterfly mix, which hasn't been in very long, and you can see we've got some things starting to germinate in here. Don't know what they are. They could be corn cockles. I'm not quite sure at the moment. That's good. I don't think that the peas start... Oh, there is a sign of something there. So yeah, there's a pea starting to grow there, so that's good. That's quick. Some of the little lids are obviously doing their job. So when they do come up, I will be taking this off, because you'd be creating very damp, sort of warm conditions in there that wouldn't be very healthy for your plants. So I'll probably put a little bit of horticultural fleece over so the plants can breathe. I'll leave them for a bit longer because they're not up properly yet. And then my little Bellis pomponette, my little ornamental daisy. So look, it's starting to get its flower head on. It's done really well. So I think what I'm going to do with some of this other stuff is I've decided I'm going to make a big planter up. And you could decide to put it in the ground, put some of these things in the ground if you've got ground, but if you haven't, you might want to do a mix and match planter. So I've got this big deep square pot, and I've put some clay pebbles in the bottom for drainage, so you could use broken plant pots or broken up bricks, it doesn't matter really, it's just that's what we had. And then I'm going to do a bit of a cheat because we haven't got much compost. So I've got a mix here. So I've got a bit of leaf mould and a bit of homemade compost. This homemade compost is a bit rough, but I think if it's mixed up with the leaf mould, I don't think the plants will be that fussy. So I'm going to put some into my pot. I'm going to take a bit of fill in this one. So I think what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to do a mixture of edibles and ornamentals, and it's just to show you that you don't have to separate everything. Things can look really nice together. And also things that you might just think are edibles, like broad beans, are actually really attractive plants, and they're really, really good for wildlife as well. So I will be putting probably my broad bean, and I thought this cabbage was really good colours, so I think I'm going to put that one in as well. And then I'm going to put my California poppy in, because my California poppy is quite desperate, as you can see, to have something else done with it. So it either needs to go into the ground or into a bigger pot, so I thought I'd do this. So, I think I'll start with my cabbage, which is very dry and pot bound. I'm just going to tease it out the base and stick it in that corner. And then my broad bean is probably much the same. So I'm just going to gently, it won't be too rough with that, gently ease that out. So I think it is going to start to flower quite soon. California poppy. I think what I'm going to do with this one is I'm actually going to take some of the base off that because it is very pot bound. Just put a little bit of the mix in the base of there because it's not as big. Might be able to get something else in there. I don't, probably not, because if I put anything else in there, they won't get enough light. So then I just need to fill in the spaces. Pressing down into oops. Filling a deep pot. And I think I'm just going to cut off some of these browning leaves on my broad bean. Okay, just trim that. So that just needs, like the others, it just needs a water. It looks nice already. Also brassicas, the cabbage, if you let it go to seed, let it go to flower, they're really good plants also for wildlife, bees and butterflies. I'll give these a little bit. And that's it. So I probably will make up another pot with some of my others. So I've got broad beans, I've got the hollyhock, I've got the parsley. So I probably will make another pot up, but it's up to you. You can mix and match things. That was just to give you an idea of things that you could be doing with some of the things from your packs if you haven't really got any ground to put them into. So this week we will be starting to sow things like radish outside. And we're also sowing onions and broad beans into containers in the polytunnel into modules. So there's lots you can do, but just remember it's probably better to stick with hardier crops at the moment than rushing. If you're going to start your tomatoes off, then you probably would be better doing that with a bit of warmth. And it's also thinking ahead for when they've grown. You need to keep protecting them. So there are just things to think about with what you're sowing and when. So don't be too eager unless you can actually look after things, because you might get a bit disappointed because it could still get really cold. Okay, so thanks very much for watching, and let us know, show us your pictures if you've got things coming up. We'd love to see them. Okay, happy gardening. Bye.